Hello, everyone. What's up? What's up? Tim Collins with TC Lifestyle Fit here with the Undefeated Effort virtual book launch. You are in for a treat. We have two amazing guests here with us today, Leia, Baez, and Dr. Hamza, two individuals who have been an inspiration in my life. Leah since 2013 and Dr. Hamza since last year. We met at an event where he's the head of an organization that's helping underserved people in the community gain employment, and it's just been a blessing. And as you can see, I'm wearing pink today in solidarity of breast cancer. One of my good friends, Dr. Danita Webb, she just lost her life a couple days ago to breast cancer. So my prayers go up to her. And it's also a huge reminder that every day is a blessing, that we need to count our blessings, and we need to always keep God in the forefront of everything that we do. And the primary reason why I wrote the book, Undefeated Effort, is out of gratitude for what God has done in my life and what he continues to do in my life, in my family's life, and all the people that I get to work with every day. And that's the underlying theme. It's a philosophy. It's a concept of put God in front of you, use your gifts and talents to serve the people that God has put into your life. And as you go through that process, it's a holistic approach. You need to honor your body. You need to take care of your body. That's exercise, nutrition, your mental wellness. These are all important aspects of you reaching the higher level of who God has called you to be. And before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the people who have been there for me since the day I was born. I have coaches and friends and family members, my wife and my kids. I would like to go one by one and acknowledge just all these people for just being there for me, shaping my mindset and giving me the energy to take on such a tedious project, but it's also a blessing. And I pray that all of you out there, when you get that opportunity, when you gain the energy, write your book, because everybody has a book. Everybody has a story to tell. So number one, I'm always give my thanks to the good Lord, because if it wasn't for him, there would be no Tim Collins. I'm not born in 1984, 39. I turned 39 the month of July, and I was looking at the Wall Street statistics of the population statistics, and there are only 93% of people who were born in my year still alive. So about 7% of those individuals, they aren't even here today. So for me to not look at today as a treasure, as a gift, I'm so blessed, and I'm very thankful that God gives me the strength and the mental focus to keep going forward. And I like to thank my mom. She's a special person in my life, Sheila Collins. I learned all my work ethic from her. I remember when she was working at Cox Cable. She was a saleswoman. She would get me, my brothers, and all my friends to pass out flyers for her. And she was always number one, top in sales. And in high school, there was a time where I wanted to stay home. I was supposed to go to work. I had this job at Walgreens, and I wanted to stay home because I was tired. But she never let me stay home. She always made sure I got up, went to work, gave my best effort. And back in those times, there was no getting dropped off at work. You had to ride your bike. You had to walk. Didn't matter if it was cold. Didn't matter if it was hot. And I'm just thankful for all those lessons that she taught me. Let me go ahead and turn this off here. Thankful for my mom. And next, my dad, Bill Collins. He sacrificed so much. There was a time in college, I remember my brother and I, we were on our way to school, driving from Omaha to Wayne State, Highway 275. Car broke down. It was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. And my dad was at work. We called him. It's pitch black outside. He clocks out, gets on Highway 275, is about an hour and a half away. And he picks us up, takes us to school, and he still makes a way to go back to work. So that work ethic and an example of work ethic that he instilled into me early, I'm grateful for. And I also need to acknowledge, I want to acknowledge my stepmom, Ophelia Collins. I don't really like to use that term, stepmom, but she has always been there for me, treated me like her own. I remember on Christmas, she always looked out for me. She got me the NBA dolls that I wanted. She got me this big boombox I used to listen to. Back in the 90s, there was Sweet 98, and I would listen to the High Five at 9 with that boombox, listen to Coolio's Gangster's Paradise every night before I went to bed. So thank you, Mama Ophelia. You've been a blessing to me and my brothers. We have Damien. He is just an amazing human being, and I pray that God continues to guide his steps. He has a sweetheart. He brings a lot of energy into the world, and he just needs that opportunity to shine and show the world who he's really made of. We have Tyrone, elite wrestler back in his day, started a family of his own. He has beautiful daughters, a beautiful wife, and I'm just impressed by the man you became, Tyrone. Thank you for being my brother. We have Little Rick. Thank you, Little Rick. You were a serviceman. You served in the Army. You served our country with excellence. And you are just always been one of the most remarkable minds I've ever known. Thank you for being in my life, brother, and continue to take those steps forward as you better yourself and achieve the desires of your heart. And we have Cyrus, the man, my baby brother. He is, I consider, of all of us, all my brothers, probably the best athlete, state champion in football at Omaha North. Now he took on boxing. He's undefeated as an amateur, getting ready to sign his pro card. That's beast mode. I actually have him coming on our podcast next Tuesday. He's going to talk about a champion's mindset. And we have my older brother, Big Will, beast mode, Big Will. He reminds me of a silverback gorilla. You know, in leadership, we always talk about the lion. We always talk about, tigers and the eagle, but we forget about how amazing the silverback is. The silverback is strong, and his number one priority is to protect everyone he's close to. What's up? What's up, Santana? This is my son. They say what's up to everybody, Santana.
What's up, everybody?
All right. Santana's a man. You want to talk? Want to say what's up?
Yes. What's up?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. And this is my son, Santana here. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Thaisha's about to get you. Got him, Thaisha? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Say what's up, Santana.
What's up?
Say what's up.
What's up?
We're going to get to him here in a second. I'm going to tell you how awesome he is. Say have a good night, buddy.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Yeah, that's Santana. He's the man. He's awesome. We're going to talk about him in a second. Yeah, he had the photo bomb. But who are we talking about? Yeah, my brother Will. He's amazing. I just want to thank you, Big Will, for being the silverback in my life. And my younger brother, Harley, he's not here anymore. He passed away back in 2002 due to a cardiac arrhythmia. He was 14 years old. He definitely left us too soon. But I'm thankful for him because he and I were really, really close. And he was just one of those individuals who made everybody happy. He lit up a room, and he just always had this positive energy about him. And I remember one time, him and I got into it. My dad told us, "Hey, you better stop arguing or else I'm going to tie you up. I'm going to tie your hands together. And I was like, yeah, right. I'm like, Dad, you're not going to do that. And just like, typical teenage boy, you just continue, and test the waters. Lo and behold, he did tie us up, and we were out in the backyard raking leaves and doing all this lawn work that it was not fun at all. But guess what? If I had the opportunity, I would love to be tied up to my younger brother again. But rest in heaven, Harley. We love you. Next, and I'm almost there, everyone. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes with Leah. I see Dr. Hamza is here now, and it's a blessing. Bishop Barlow, my spiritual and moral guide. Bishop has been a blessing to me. He's the man who told my wife and I that we needed to get married. He said, hey, TC, take it off the shelf. That young lady with you is special, special, special. We were 22 years old. First time we were going to church, he took me into his back office and told me what it means to be a man. And I remember even when we got into starting our business, we were experiencing some turbulence, and I almost walked away from everything that I worked hard for. I almost walked away from everything I worked hard for. I called Bishop, and he said, celebrate your freedom. Celebrate your freedom. And at that time I had, another organization giving me an opportunity to do something great too. But Bishop said, stay the course, allow God to guide you. Just because it's challenging and difficult doesn't mean you won't have the victory. And God has always taken care of me. He's always taken care of my family, and I'm thankful. Next, my clients, our clients, the TC Lifestyle Fit clients, our Fit Citizens, Constructive Attitudes clients, the young men we work with in the prisons, the corrections facility, all the administrators, the individuals who come to our gym for strength training 2 times a week, 3 times a week over the past 15 years of being in the wellness profession. Thank you. I appreciate your support. All of you are a significant blessing in my life. Lastly, but most importantly, my wife, Taisha, my son, Santana, who you just saw, he photobombed us, video bombed us, and my daughter, Violet. These 3 are the apples of my eye. I appreciate them dearly. And there would be no TC without my wife, Taisha. She was the one who told me to step out on faith when it didn't make sense. And I'm surprised that she didn't walk away, because we took some bold moves early on. And I'm just grateful to have a wife who told me that, TC, you're bigger than just a building. You're bigger than just the place where you're at. And that's an idea and a concept we all should adopt. We're bigger than just one particular place. We all have a gift. We're all special. We're all amazing. We all have the capacity to do great with our life. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to have all of you here on this show today. Next, what we're going to do is bring on some amazing people. These are 2 people who inspire me. When I thought about doing this virtual book launch, 2 people popped up. That was Leia Baez and Dr. Hamza. Now, we'll bring both of them on at the same time. Leia, she is an incredible mother, number one. She does many things incredibly well, but she is an awesome mom. She's an award-winning author of her. She has an amazing book, A Star for Stella. I hope all of you can get that book, read it. It's incredible. Just amazing story from the standpoint of a person who was able to overcome obstacles, and no matter how hard it was, she found a way to get her victory in life. And I believe she has the number 1 most viewed speech, her commencement speech at Bellevue. Like millions of people watch this commencement speech. It's very inspiring on Goldcast. I'm sure she'll tell you more about that. And we have Dr. Hamza. I met about last year at a networking event for a nonprofit organization that I'm a board member. He's the executive, and I'm just impressed with how kind he is and his loyalty towards people and his leadership. And you'll find out for yourself just how great these two people are. And I hold both of them dear to my heart. Without further ado, let's bring Leia and Dr. Hamza on. Okay, at the screen. There's Leia. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hi,
Hey, there's Dr. Hamza. What's up? How you doing, Dr. Hamza? Yes. Where are you at? Where are you at? You're at the home or at a networking event? Where are you?
I'm at home.
You're at home. Leah's at home. Where are you at, Dr. Hamza? I think it's his camera froze. Dr. Hamza, can you hear me? Can you hear me? The man with the master plan.
No, he's rejoining, so
He's rejoining. We'll get him to come back on here in a second. So,
but
yes,
I have to start by just saying, like, it's amazing to hear how much gratitude you have. And that like really shows through in your leadership, because I mean, you started this off, you didn't get to like, it's not about me and my book. You gave it to everybody else. And let me just put you in the spotlight, because gratitude is so important. And what you did by that, like, gave me goosebumps. Like, you know, and you just let everything just flow. And Santana came in and video bombed, and you're like, Santana, you take over. Let's go. And I just love that about you.
I could have let him take over. He would have actually taken over too.
Right. But it's just so incredible to hear how much gratitude you have. And I will say that, like, in my like years of sobriety, most recently, I've really recognized that the more you live in gratitude, the more you show gratitude in everything you do, life can be so incredible. So
it's good.
I had to shout that out, because that was really, I loved how you started this. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Leah. You are a blessing. Look, we got Dr. Hamza here. Dr. Hamza, meet Miss Leah. Miss Leah, meet Dr. Hamza. How are you doing today, Dr. Hamza?
I have braved, we were at the Maha Festival today and they evacuated. So it took me a while.
Oh, wow.
We had this, but you know, God is good.
God is amazing.
And I was like, I just want to make it for Tim's thing, because
thank you,
when you said you were launching the book, I said, you know, and going back to what Leah said, very nice to meet you. Super. I've heard so many great things about Tim. He's been raving about you. But when you when we were doing my interview for your podcast, you said, hey, we can't do it here, and you know, this and this room's not available, but we made it work.
We did. Yeah.
Let's just put something green here, and let's, you know, put a water bottle, and let's just make it work. That is a skill that not a lot of people have.
No, wow.
And it's that scarcity mindset. And I
thank you so much, Dr. Hamza.
To live in gratitude, we live in abundance. So thank you for your abundance mindset. So happy that you were open to even doing this launch, because I said, you know, you are an awesome guy. When John Allen introduced us, I said, man, this guy's awesome. I got to be friends with him.
Thank you, Dr. Hamza. You know how I feel about you. You're just one of the most remarkable people I've ever met. I see we lost Leah. She probably needs to reconnect her audio and video source, and that's okay. We'll get her back on here momentarily. But Dr. Hamza, you're first up. What is first of all, can you tell everybody about who Dr. Hamza is? After that, give us your insight on what does undefeated effort look like for you, brother? Hold on. Yeah, audio. Yep, can't hear you, Dr. Hamza.
I get so excited, and then guess what? It's like the mic tells me
it blows up. That excitement is so big, it blows everything up, baby. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
So currently, I'm the active interim executive director for a cafe for individuals that are non-neurotypical. We hope to open soon, and we're actively doing a campaign to promote our programming and services.
Yes.
So through Metropolitan Community College's
Yes, sir.
culinary program,
Yes.
we'll be doing a 6-week intensive training certificate program called the Unified Kitchen Training Program, which allows individuals that are non-neurotypical a voice in the community. Individuals that have family members, friends that are non-neurotypical, that need special needs. We struggle with our community members that are too
Yes.
high functioning for lower services,
Mm-hmm.
too low functioning for normal school
Wow.
services. So they're left out in the gap. So this cafe will be a community space, and it will be a place where we'll have a pipeline from Metro to our future Destiny Cafe.
Wow.
So besides working in that, I've also written a book on mindfulness back in my days at Baylor. My degree's on the wall in the back, and I have my
Baylor's University. Wow.
Yep.
Baylor Bears. That's a tough group of scholars there.
We like it tough. We're very strict on our scholarships.
Nice. Yes.
So I work with several nonprofits and entrepreneurs, and if I believe that we collect good people in our community,
Yes.
excellent faith-based leaders and
Yes.
practitioners.
Yes.
So
Right.
it's very, very important that we hold that deep.
Yeah.
So that goes into my segue of what's undefeated effort.
Yes. What does undefeated effort mean to you? And I'll ask the same questions for you here momentarily, Leia. But yes, Dr. Hamza, what does undefeated effort mean to you, my brother?
So when you mentioned this initially that I was going to be on here and you mentioned to talk about it, I really think undefeated is a term. So I'm going to break it up. So when I think of undefeated, I think of first-year entry-level nonprofits.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I work with, and those are the ones that keep on going with little to no funding. They're thinking, can we get an extra donation? Can we get an extra dollar, 10, 20?
Right.
And their effort allows them to do it. So undefeated effort means going and pushing that barrier of, guess what? We might not be getting funding. We might not have a sponsor. We might not have this, but we're not going to stop.
Wow.
Because that is that scarcity mindset that limits our ability.
Right.
So abundance and scarcity. So undefeated effort is knowing that there's abundance in everything you do. You just have to keep on pushing. And that is that point. One of my mentors said it's like taking blood from stone. You just got to know when to break it because we're malleable at a point, but you just have to stay strong. That's undefeated effort, in my personal opinion. And I carry that with me in almost everything I do.
Beautiful, Dr. Hamza. You are definitely a force, without a doubt. Okay, Leia, can you tell everyone about who you are and what is your definition of undefeated effort? Your book. Let's talk about that.
Well, first off, I have to say, I am so sorry. My Wi-Fi keeps in and out because of the storm. So there's I hear thunder and things happening. So if I disappear, just FYI. So
thank you.
As an athlete, I used to think that undefeated meant, always winning. And for, no losses, always winning. But now that I'm a little bit more wiser, I like to think that I have benefited so much more from my losses than my wins in life.
I love that.
It's like when
process of learning.
In the moments that I'm down and out, in the moments that I'm growing and learning, but also forced to really look within.
Yeah,
that's the real win, right? So I might be losing, but I am really winning, and I'm being guided to greatness because those dark times and those hardships that I'm experiencing are leading me to somewhere even better. And so I've experienced that because I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm almost 4 years sober. And I wrote a book about my journey to basically find myself, find that best version of me. And that meant turning away from what I knew. And that meant turning away from some of the friends that I had where I drank all the time. And that meant turning away from a lifestyle of binge drinking and partying that I was used to.
Absolutely.
So my undefeated effort, Tim, really is just never giving up on that best version of me.
Mm.
So I am so worthy of that, right? Like I want to
Yeah.
know what I want
I
to
love
meet
that.
that best version of me, right? I want to know her. I want to live and experience all the successes she can experience. But it takes
Mm.
real dedication
It does. Yes,
and
it does.
willpower to be willing to look within
Mm-hmm.
and admit where you're lacking, right? Admit that I'm not perfect. Admit that I failed. Admit that
Mm-hmm.
I have so much more to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so fulfilling to know that the losses can bring you so much, right?
That's so good, Aaliyah. That's so amazing. And self-improvement is a continual process of chasing things in your life that are meaningful and stepping away from the expedient aspects of our life. When something happens, get a bad report, maybe you flunked your science exam, or something happened that you're not excited about at home with your spouse or a family or friend. You have to always concentrate on moving forward and giving your best effort towards the things that are going to make you better, instead of settling for the simple aspects of life that aren't going to produce excellence for you. We have to change our mindset. We have to reprogram our mental syntax. And we also have to go through the process of keeping our chest up and putting our shoulders back, even in those dark moments where we feel like giving up, because it's been really tough. Now, Dr. Hamza, what is your perspective on that particular philosophy, picking yourself up during the tough times in your life?
I think, and just speaking from my personal experience, growing up, I mean, you have to have that grit element, and I think we've mentioned that before.
We did talk about that, yes.
It really develops. People talk about, oh, I've got street smarts and I've got book smarts.
Yes,
It
right.
really goes down to, do you have the tenacity? Do you
Yes,
have the grit to overcome any issue? There's
right,
throughout our stages of life,
right.
we will go through so many ups and downs, and that grit and that resiliency, that is what keeps us intact. When you don't have that skill, regardless of your education, your finances, you'll flounder. You'll just be like, I can't do anything. And that is a very tough place to be, because you can't go, and that's a skill that you got to learn. It really is. It's not fun. It's not easy, but it takes time. It takes time to develop. But grit, it goes down to that. It's what makes me who I am. And it started from early on, just working, my first job when I was 13.
Wow. You are amazing, Dr. Hamza. Now, Leah, let's come back to you. You talked about when you were an athlete. I know you were in sports, volleyball, and you're competitive CrossFit. You like to lift weights, one of the strongest women in America. And when you're in sports, you learn to it's a great environment to be in, because it keeps you healthy, and it teaches you how to get out of your comfort zone and compete against other people when you're in that specific arena. However, life, right? Life is slightly different. I believe there's no such thing as competition. There's no such thing as you winning in life and me losing in life, you being better than me and me being better than you. However, I do believe that there are people in life who possibly have more strengths than us, and then maybe areas of our life where we might not necessarily be as strong, where we can learn from that individual. But however, how do we adopt the mindset where we build relationships with other people that doesn't require for them to win and for me to lose? And this is a philosophy I adopted from Simon Sinek. He talks about worthy rivals or worthy opponents, not about competing with other people, but completing other people and learning from them so you can grow and get better. What's your philosophy on that? And how has that concept tied into your perspectives of writing the book, A Star for Something?
So I remember working with a coach who once told me that, you know, comparison is the thief of joy, right? So like if we're going to compare ourselves and constantly compete with other people, we're going to lose our joy. And honestly, like in the last couple of years, since publishing my book, I've had the honor of helping other women share their stories as a coach, and even become published authors. And so I actually found more satisfaction in helping other women share their stories and helping other women become published.
Yes.
Then I'm like, I now see how, you know, we truly do rise by lifting others. And it sounds so cliche, but it's like I get a better high off of helping somebody else.
Come on.
Hit a big accomplishment than my own accomplishments, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing about it is like so many times we feel like, okay, for example, like I want to be a, you know, $1 million keynote speaker. Okay. That's my goal, to travel the world and speak all over, like Brene Brown. Okay.
Yes. I love Brene Brown, the imperfectly perfect, right? You talk about the book, and I actually have her book right here, Atlas of the Heart. I love that book.
So for example, like maybe 5 years ago, I would see her, let's just say as an example, I'd see her speaking and I'd say, oh, she's really good, you know, but you know, I can't see myself doing that. Or, you know, I would have this kind of, you know, mindset that she's already done it, so it can't be done again. Yes. And so my theory now, though, is that there's enough success out there for all of us. Okay.
There is. Yes, that's right.
There's enough success for every single one of us out there.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is now I don't see Brene Brown as competition, but rather she is my validation.
Yeah.
That I can do this. Yep. That I can share my sobriety story and make an impact, that I can help other people be vulnerable and share a message and make an impact, right? She's the validation. So when we see other people accomplishing big goals that we want to accomplish, that's just the validation that we can do it too.
Yes. Right. I love that.
Mindset, abundance. There's plenty of stuff for all of us, but people just think narrow. They're like, oh, I can't be a Simon Sinek. I can't be Brene Brown. I was like, don't worry. They don't want to be you. They want to elevate you. So let them elevate you. And then you elevate yourself and you elevate other people. Leah, I'm going to add one more thing. Nonprofits struggle with that too as organizations. They limit themselves with, oh, we can't get funding. We can't do this. Or our mission doesn't matter. You know, oh, we're just helping kids in North Omaha, South Omaha. That doesn't matter. No. You have to see that every effort you take will be counted for. There's resources for everybody, but it's just that shift. You have to shift your mind to know. No, there's plenty of stuff. I just have to be aware of it so I can get it.
Yeah. That is such a great point. And like, can I just add one more thing to that?
Add two more things.
So one thing that I've experienced is that when I shifted my mindset to say, there are opportunities for me, I do have the mindset that now, like, I don't want to be Brene Brown. Like, I want to be Leia Baez, right? But I also know that she's done it and she's done it really well. So I can do it too. And the other thing that comes with is there's so many opportunities that once you shift your mindset to have that, then more opportunities come to you. It's like a magnet. It's like you become a magnet for opportunities when you can open up your mindset to see the abundance. Dr. Hamza, am I right?
Mind shift. You just shift your mind and you say that, hey, for me, it was, oh, I'm Muslim. I'm a minority. I'm a light person of color in Nebraska. There's not a lot of people like me. So I can represent myself. You know, you've gone through your journey with recovery. That resonates, but that connects because that's your journey. It elevates you to talk about your story. It's not someone else's journey. So, but you shifted your mind. We take our trauma, we take our problems, our efforts where we failed, and we shift it and we say, hey, there's a lesson I learned and I'm going to teach you. That way, if you're struggling, you can get through it. Or if you know someone that you love, or if anything, you get through it. So yes, absolutely. Very, very well said, Leah.
You know, one of the, I would consider greatest sports team in the history of athletics is the New Zealand national team. And they have this concept, never be too big to do the small things. And I believe wholeheartedly the reason why they dominate in their respective sport is because they have that philosophy. So if you go into their locker room, you'll notice that they have the veterans like sweeping the floor, washing the jerseys. They don't have the young guys doing it. So they're setting an example. Let me put this back on. They're setting an example for some of the younger athletes. And now, Dr. Hamza, what is your philosophy on being a veteran, being a leader in your field, and setting an example for the other people you have been called to serve? Not just putting all the focus on your needs, but but the needs of other people.
That's a big question, Tim. I'm going to take a breath.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Tim is all this positive energy, and I'm very
appreciate that.
But I'm like, okay,
positive energy.
Gotta fill up my chest and just because I'm
yeah.
So, gosh, that was. I got to take a moment to reflect. Okay, so what I want people to see is that you, like you as an individual, have so many layers to your personal, professional, familial life.
Yes.
You're not happy with any one of those.
Right.
You have an abundance to change. There's so many opportunities to change. So it's just being able to see it. Going back to my specific industry, nonprofits struggle with that. We don't see, well, I help this group of people and so do the other peoples, but we can't work together because we both do the same thing. Well, no. You have to see how you are different and how you can collaborate. So collaboration in nonprofits is important. Partnership in nonprofits is important. And then also elevating in nonprofits is important. So we want to collaborate when we can, but we also want to have partners when we're like, hey, I'm doing this, but we can't do everything. Well, it's okay. We got this. We're going to help these group of young Black girls code. And we're only going to focus on Black girls because guess what? That is that special double minority that we can change if we put all our hyper efforts on it. What you can do is you can focus on that. And we'll partner with you at conferences, at tech events, at mindfulness events, at galas, and we will elevate ourselves. That is that thing. It's not that I'm just going to do my thing and I can't tell anybody because they might take my funding. No, there's plenty of funding. Don't be afraid.
Come on now.
Collaborate. Don't be afraid to join a partnership, and don't be afraid to elevate. And it takes one person because we're both doing it, but you got to be the first one that says, hey, let's work together. I know we're both in this, but there's enough stuff for us if we both tackle this. Then
yes. Ooh, that's so good. Don't be the crab in the bucket. Because that's right. There's opportunity for everyone. And you think about it, the good Lord made all this stuff here, like the clothes on our back, the computers that we're looking at, the material is out there in the earth. We were able to use our minds and our creativity to make something beautiful out of it. So that was an amazing perspective. Now, Leia, going back to your book, chapter 6 was really interesting because it talked about your childhood bedroom. You would put stars on the ceiling, and each star represented a goal that you wanted to achieve in life. Can you tell us about that? I need to start putting some stars around here.
I have lots of stars I can give you. I literally have so many. So I was in the 6th grade, and this is when Kmart was still alive. And I loved Kmart. But I went to Kmart with my mom and bought some glow-in-the-dark stars, and we hung them up on my ceiling. And that night, they were the coolest thing. They were glowing, and I thought it was so cool. And I remember making wishes on each one of those stars, thinking, at the time I was doing ice skating. So I remember saying I wanted to be like Christy Yamaguchi was the ice skater of the time. She was a beast, and I wanted to be like her. And so I wanted to be a professional ice skater, but I loved poetry, and I knew I wanted to write, and I wanted to play volleyball, and I knew all these things. So, I literally was wishing on those stars. Every night I would go to sleep, and it was kind of, funny that 30 years later they were still up on the ceiling in my childhood bedroom
Wow.
when I had to move back home after a rough divorce. I moved back home with my parents
Wow.
after a divorce, and that meant moving back into my childhood bedroom, and those stars were still up there. And so at the time,
How great you are, Leah. Those stars were there as a reminder of
they
how.
were my reminder. Yeah. At the time, I was very depressed. I was going through a divorce, fighting for custody for my daughter. And I remember looking up at those stars, like really thinking like, this is a demotion in life. Like I am starting over after buying my own home, after having a career as an award-winning journalist. I mean, I thought I had it all, right? And then life knocks you down and I'm back at square one.
Man.
So
Mike Tyson punch sometimes too.
yeah,
You'll get up, but you get up though. You get up though, and next time when Mike Tyson comes, you got a couple more moves to counter.
Oh, I'm a lot tougher now. So yeah. Wow. But I will say, I had no idea that those like silly little plastic stars would stand for so much, and honestly be my reminder that I've got big dreams still, and they're still out there, and I can't let this hard time in my life pull me back, and so I knew that I had to get up. I had to, fight for my daughter. I had to fight for my life. I had to get back and find out and really fight for me, fight for the me that I knew I was capable of being, but I had to overcome an addiction to alcohol. And so I knew that I was worth it. It just took a while to get there, but I do credit those glow in the dark stars for kind of being the reminder, like, hey, you can still do this. It was actually what prompted me to go back to get my master's degree, and eventually led me to be the commencement speaker at Bellevue University, which then that speech went viral and really kind of catapulted me into a career of keynote speaking. And so, I mean, God is good, and I just have to thank, the hard times, because I am who I am because of my downfalls, and I am.
That's all of us.
Give an undefeated effort, Tim. I promise.
Undefeated effort.
I will always give it.
For me, it's always been, and I stand true to this, is keeping God first, serving people, and taking care of my body. In every moment in my life where I felt stuck, and we're human beings. Especially when you're going through the process of pursuing something new and uncertain, you might feel stuck initially. But what you do is pick yourself back up and focus on the fact that you're doing something beautiful for the world. You're using your gift to make a difference. And it does require you to persevere. And perseverance, you can't do that on a diet of Cheetos and a sedentary lifestyle. You have to get up, and that physical work you get that physical work that you produce through your training, it helps your mind in so many different ways that helps you achieve what your heart desires. So Dr. Hamza, what's so impressive about you, of the probably millions of things that are impressive about you, is your ability to network? I know there are times where you're like up at 5 a.m. networking until like 10 o'clock or 12 p.m. at networking events. How do you, I don't even know how a person has the energy to do something like that. Like, how can you talk to us about the power of networking?
Yes, I'm going to comment on something that when Leah's story, it made me think of this phrase, is that I have never been impressed by someone that says, oh, life was easy for me. I never had to do it.
Yeah.
I'm more impressed by someone that said, I went through a divorce. I had to fight. That is more impressive, because the person that said, oh, I've never had an issue or any struggle, I'm not impressed by that. Yeah. That's nothing to brag about. It's easy. To fight and to win and to continuously fight.
Yeah.
That is someone I want to talk to. That's someone I want to hang out with, because that's that person that will help, because they know when push comes to shove, you've got the skills to do it. Yeah. I credit my networking segueing to, like our founder, Joan, which, she's the reason I
Shout
met
out to
you.
Joan Allen.
And it's the reason that I'm here with two other awesome authors. And I think being an author and going through it, you join this club of,
Yes.
that feeling of rejection and turnover and back and forth. And is it good or is it bad? And just putting something that you create in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. But I credit Joan to connecting us. And that power of network just comes from knowing that regardless of who you meet, you yourself in that space need to be respectful of the person that you're meeting. Because you might meet someone, they might have nothing in common with you. They'll hand you a business card and they'll go their way. That's not how networking works. It's knowing that I might meet this person, we might not have nothing in common.
Right.
I can't help them, they can't help me. But the fact that I presented myself,
Mm-hmm.
I showed them this is what I do, this is where I am. That is how networking works. That's the
Mm-hmm.
power of networking, because they will remember that.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a talk yesterday. I was with Joan and our one of our family friends, and she said, you met this lady at the Jaws and Castle over tea. She was at the table, and she still remembered you. And she didn't know your name, but she remembered what you said and how polite you were and how kind you were.
Wow.
She doesn't know anything else besides that. I was that person's guest, and I had tea, and that was it. But she remembered that kindness. And she told her that. So you never know. So I think going with that intention when you network, that opens more doors than going to hand out 50 business cards. And if you don't call me, or if I don't call you, or if you don't work, then I'm not going to talk to you again. That's not networking for me.
Yeah. I believe loyalty and kindness are the two most important attributes a person should nurture in their life, because that's how you win with yourself and that's how you win with other people. That's how you get them to trust you. Now, Leia, back to you. And we have a few minutes before we close up our amazing event today. And I thank you guys both for being here. Also, you talked about there was a period of your time where it felt like you were demotion, went back. I believe sometimes our setbacks are our greatest setup. Look at the arrow, you aim the arrow back and then you launch it, boom, it hit the target.
Yeah.
What's your advice to someone who they're in that period of their life where it just feels like they can't win, they can't get a break?
Yeah, I did talk about demotion, especially being back in my childhood bedroom, right?
Yeah.
But in all honesty, now, like when I look back, like I knew I needed to be at home base. With my most loving support system, my family around me, lifting me up, even though it was a very difficult time for me. I now see how God was using that as an opportunity for me.
Yes.
To move ahead, and to move forward. In the midst of it all, you're like, I'm breaking, I don't understand this, and you never do in the moment, right? So for anybody experiencing, a hard, difficult time, or just even feeling like they're stuck, I often like to just embrace those moments, because oftentimes those really difficult times that feel like you're not doing anything and nothing's happening, God's still working, right? Things are still happening. We have no idea that are connecting, and especially when things seem slow, like,
right.
You've been working hard, you've been doing the work, your business isn't taking off, and you're just expecting results right away.
Doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work. You gotta trust and be patient and know that it's always in the right timing, right? And so I just always like to say too, just embrace those times and those periods that seem difficult and seem hard, because they are building blocks. Because it's in those moments that we not only grow as entrepreneurs or leaders or just, men and women, but also as, we in that midst of like you want to break down, that's when we really build resilience, and we can use that as an opportunity to move forward. Right. So I would not tell anybody that if I had not experienced that, but I have. And like, I always share a message 100% from my lived experiences. I never share a message that is not something that I've experienced personally. And I know what that felt like, feeling stuck. I lost custody of my daughter because of my alcoholism. And and I was battling in a court. I had to prove my worthiness as a mother to a judge.
Mm-hmm.
I was crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to look back and see how those moments of breaking
Mm-hmm.
actually
Mm-hmm.
were building me.
Yeah.
That is something truly remarkable. And so I encourage anybody feeling that struggle to trust the process, embrace the hard times,
Mhm.
and lean on people who love you and support you,
Yes.
and they will help you through it.
That's so beautiful, Leah. Amazing, amazing. One more question for each of you before we conclude our session today. Once again, both of you, you're busy, successful individuals. You took time out of your day to spend with me. Thank you, thank you. Time is our greatest resource, our greatest commodity, and it means a lot to me that both of you are here because I think so highly of you, Leah, and you, Dr. Hamza, and I appreciate it. But tell me, what's your greatest victory from, let's say this week? What's your greatest victory from this week? Let's go recent. We'll start with Dr. Hamza, then we'll go with you, Leah.
Oh gosh, for me it's survival, as you can see by my hair. I mean, I survived a storm, a stampede.
Oh yeah, come on, that storm it can be rough.
But it's like God, it goes back. It's God is good. Like it's the fact that I can go home and know that God is good, I'm good, and that any struggle that I have, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, it's that God's got me. And it just is that, again, it's that mind shift to know. And I encourage youth, which is really, really my passion, that don't be afraid to be weak in front of God. Don't be afraid. Because we're taught, you got to be tough, But that's where a place where you can be vulnerable. And that allows me personally to reflect and just go to bed, put on my white noise machine, and just say, I cannot wait to get my 10 hours of sleep
Mm-hmm.
and just wake up and, help the community the next day. I mean, it's so beautiful to be able to be in my space and to help these nonprofits weekly. There's a different, we get curveballs thrown at us.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful to do it every day. I can't wake up to do it again tomorrow because guess what? Weekend's no excuse.
No excuse. I love that. Just keep going. All right, Leah, what's your greatest victory from this week?
Oh, this is a good one, but I have to go with I was in Mexico for a week.
Nice.
And I forced myself to get back in the gym today. So I did my first CrossFit class today.
Okay.
After being out of the gym for a full week. And that is hard. That's a lot of mental things. I'm like, do I really want to go? Should I rest? Should I not? And, I find myself to be, I have to be my biggest cheerleader. I have to push myself.
That's the biggest cheerleader. I love that.
Yeah, and I have to push myself. And so I know that those moments of uncomfortable are actually moments that we get better and get stronger. So I was like, oh gosh, I just got to do it. Yeah. Even if I move slow, I just have to show up. And so I went and I was really happy. I'm proud of myself because it was a really good workout. So.
All right, Leah, you are the bomb. Two of my favorite people. We're in the same space with each other today. Let's clap it up because it was such an amazing, amazing event. I'm excited. We launched our book, Undefeated.
Tell me, Tim, you have to tell us about a little bit more about your book.
Oh, yeah. The book it's a blessing. It's a combination of just life experiences and, starting our business, becoming a father, my childhood, some of the ups and downs that I experienced as a young man. And it's really a guideline. It's a philosophy to help people embrace their connections with others. Allow God to be at the forefront of everything that you do, and health. That has always been the underlying message I communicate to people. Work on your mind, work on your body, feed yourself nutrition that provides fuel so you can do all the great things that God has called you for. And I'm grateful that God has given me the energy to write this book. We started it the last year in July, and you both are authors. It's a process. It can be overwhelming. Anything can be overwhelming if you allow it to be. My mindset was initially, okay, if you get overwhelmed, start chunking things down. What can I get done in 5 minutes? So I just wrote every day, 5 minutes, no judgment, just wrote for 5 minutes. And next thing you know, I have a big stack of papers of just content, our experiences, and then we found a way to put it together beautifully in a book. And it's not even just about the book; it's about all the ideas and concepts out of that will outlast, a hard or soft cover or a page. And I thank God for that. And I want to use that as an opportunity to heal people. And my highlight. This is my highlight of the week. One of my clients, Nick, he knows we work with young men in the corrections facility. That's been something we've been doing since 2018. And he donated some books. He donated some books to the young men it will be a great opportunity for them just to look at life from a different perspective. And if you're going through that process of change, you're going through the process of bettering yourself, you have to start right here. You have to start right here because your mind is in control. Your body is essentially just a robot. Master your inner thoughts, the pictures that you put in your head, and then take the right action that puts you in a position to succeed and use your gift to help other people get better. That's the underlying message of the book. And I really pray that all of you out there who are watching this video, you get a copy. It'll bless you. Get one for yourself. Get one for the people you care about. Get for some young adults. And there's some concepts in the book that will really bless their outlook on how to be their best self. So thank you, Dr. Hamza. Thank you, Leia. I'm excited. I can't wait to get your copy so you can
virtual hug.
Oh, virtual hug. Yes, I love the virtual hug. Thank you. I love the virtual hugs.
Tim, you're one of the most inspiring people I've ever met in my life. And so for anyone listening, you need to get this book because Tim has been inspiring me for many, many years. He used to write for us at the Omaha World Herald. I mean, I'm so excited to see this book published. I'm so excited. I already got my copy, so I can't wait to get it.
Yes, thank you so much.
I only want autograph copies. I want an autograph copy. I want all the positivity. And then just the same, Tim, we met at one nonprofit board meeting, and then you just have been so kind. Being on your podcast, meeting you, and having you a part of our community, non-neurotypical community. It's a champion, and we thank you for championing everything you do for all of us. So thank you, sir.
You're the man, Tim.
You the woman, and you the man, Dr. Hamza. Thank you so much for being here. And I'd love for us to connect again in the future, whether it's at a networking event or virtual, in person. We need to have these conversations with each other because we use our time wisely, and it's good to learn. How do you get better? You don't necessarily get better by yourself. You get better because you learn from other people who are doing great things in the world. And you two are definitely one of individuals who are just rock stars and making a significant difference in my life and others too. So thank you.
Amen.
Everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you too. And we'll see you soon. All right. Love you all.
Thank you so much.
Love you too, Tim. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.